What's up, everybody? This is Devin White, linebacker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're listening to the LCC Network. Go Bucks.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Commissioners Clubhouse and the LCC Network for round three of our mock drafts. With me today, I've got Jameson, GM of Give Me More Back on the show. What's up, Jameson?
It's good to be back, man. I'm excited. We're gonna have some sleepless nights here as we get close to draft day.
Yeah,
Nerves and excitement all tied up together.
yeah, I agree. It's this time of year. I feel like I'm like running on adrenaline, if that makes sense. The like the week of the draft, I'm like, oh shit, because I'm not just thinking about like the draft itself, but I'm thinking about all the other things. Like I got to make sure this works and that works, and this person shows up. If that person doesn't show up, I got to replace them. Gotta make sure the food's there, all that kind of stuff. So it's like a bunch of different things kind of going through my mind all at once.
Yep.
It's like planning a fantasy football wedding on a miniature
it's
scale.
and we need a photographer. We need
Yeah,
music.
that's right.
Yeah. it is like that.
Well, guys, today we are going to kind of go over round three of the mock draft. So, in our first mock draft that we did last week, we did rounds 1 and 2. Then we called it quits. So, we're going to go into round three tonight. And then after that, we're going to dive into. I forgot what we were calling this segment, Jameson. Is a, like what we learned or takeaways? Takeaways from the
Yeah.
mock draft.
Yeah. It's kind of takeaways and thoughts. So,
Yeah, cool.
and Pat, I think this is the first time on any of the mock draft shows we've done in the past few years. I think this is the first time we've ever mocked 3 rounds.
Yeah,
So
I think
this is
so. Yeah.
this is a milestone.
Normally, what we were doing back in the day is we would record multiple mock draft episodes, and we would just do 2 rounds or 1 round. Back in the day, that's what we would do. But I don't know. We've gotten older, and we don't have as much time to commit as we once did. So, the glory days.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ready when you are, man.
All right, well, let's get it started. Let's kick off round three of the mock draft. Oh, whoops. Well, I almost exited out of my spreadsheet that I had open.
I can't do that.
I know, right? Hang on if I can get it to slide on over. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, so let me share my screen with all you guys listening in. For those who are watching, obviously this will be a little bit more beneficial. But this spreadsheet here, of course, is more than just a mock draft. So obviously, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you've got the there's the mock waiver wire that we did earlier in the offseason, and also have included Fantasy Pros offensive and defensive rankings. I've gone in and crossed out and italicized the names of players who've been kept already, as you can see, like Justin Herbert here. So feel free to use this as a guide. You can download this into, a spreadsheet of your own, print it out, or if you just want to bring this to the draft, feel free. Everyone should actually have editing access because I didn't know if anyone was going to join us tonight. I don't think so. I think it's just going to be me and Jameson, the two of us. But yeah, so use this as a tool for you all. Like I said, I haven't updated the. There's another tab on here they're not able to see right now, but basically team needs. I do plan on doing that even for my own sake going into the draft. So sometime between Wednesday night now and Saturday morning, that'll get done. So yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know, at least as we kick this off. So with the 301 The Lebatard Lobos are on the clock. Jameson, you want to do this one, or you want me to do this one?
No, I'll take it. I've got to remind us who we got. So, he has picked so far DeForest Buckner. I think Bryce said that was an accident. he didn't know Daniel Hunter was listed as a linebacker. I guess the Vikings switched to a 3-4. So I guess he's
I
a
guess,
linebacker
yeah.
technically. So we're going to go for Alex, just kind of looking at, let me see his team needs real quickly. If I remember correctly, I think he needs a DB. I don't think he has a DB on his roster. Nor does he have a defensive lineman. So it really comes down. Oh, guys, no, he's got Hunter and DeForest Buckner. Never mind. So DBs, I mean, you just got to go with the best one available here. And it's debatable, but I would say Tracy Walker. Taylor Rapp is there. Tyrann Matthews there. But I would probably take Tracy Walker if I was in that spot, needing
Okay.
a DB.
So
He's been pretty solid for a couple
the
years.
pick is in.
And
All
for
right.
some reason, Pat, I cannot edit this. I'm having
Okay.
so you might have to edit this for me.
Okay. Let me see. Hey, on who did you say it was again? You were
Tracy
taking
Walker,
Tracy Walker. Okay.
safety for the Lions.
Yeah, I gotcha. I'm gonna copy and paste him into here. There we go. All right. Tracy Walker off the board at defensive back. I like that. So we got Shuttlecock's now Bryce, who was who assisted us in the first 2 rounds for a mock draft. Thanks again, man, for helping us out. We really appreciated that. And also learned to be a little bit scared of Shuttlecocks.
I like how he conveniently skipped all of his picks.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, you guys take this one for me."
Yeah. A lot of his picks that he did in the mock draft that were pretty solid. They're obviously the DeForest Buckner pick, that was a whiff, but only because he didn't know of the situation there with Alex.
Yeah.
So I can't really blame him for that. But so far,
and for his team,
we've given him a defensive lineman, we've given him a linebacker, and a safety.
a DB.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
we went pretty heavy defense in the draft for him so far.
I know. I feel like the pendulum's got to swing the other way. I was trying to find his roster. There it is. He's already got.
So he has a receiver, a quarterback, and a running back.
Damn,
so he's got one of everything
man.
at this point.
Do you think he goes and gets a backup running back here?
I don't think I would. I don't know, man. I think he's going to play it smart. I think he's going to solidify that defense some more with another linebacker.
Yeah.
Or a DB. That's what I would do.
I'm just looking through some of the guys that are available. There's really not much at this point to mess with. Yeah, I'm thinking probably he hasn't been in the league, so he doesn't know probably, or doesn't know any better. But definitely DBs are, a lot of people flex them as their flex. So there's still some good DBs here to pick up. Taylor Rapp, I guess he's still available, it looks like. Right?
Yeah, he'd be up there.
Okay. Let's give him Taylor Rapp. I think Taylor Rapp is solid. Fantasy Pros has him as DB26, which is actually really good. You could argue he goes against the Honey Badger there in New Orleans, but I like Taylor Rapp a little bit more, in my opinion. Oh, I gotta do the draft chime.
Slacking.
All right, Springfield Adams on the clock.
Team, all right, so this
total
is
wild card.
Complete wild card. He had 3 picks in the second round, but he only had Jameis Winston on his roster before that. So he has no DBs and no D linemen, if I remember correctly, at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So it's tough. It's tough because he's a new guy who hasn't played in this format before. Those guys typically tend to go heavier on offense, which is why we went 2 offensive players in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he has to do something different here. There are there are a couple of solid defensive linemen here, Pat, at the top.
Hmm.
But there's also another good linebacker that I want to pick here, and that's Miles Jack
Okay.
at the 303. I mean, he's the starting middle linebacker in Pittsburgh, or one of the middle linebackers, I guess, in that 3-4 in Pittsburgh. He's got to be just hogging up tackles, I would think. Right?
I agree. Honestly, I think Miles Jack. I mean, think of all of the linebackers to come through Pittsburgh in the past like 20 years. All of them have been like excellent linebackers in real life, and even better IDP players. So I just feel like it. Maybe this is a good spot for Miles Jack. Maybe he gets a revival in his career. As an IDP player, he just wasn't that great. Honestly, he just wasn't consistent enough, or he was consistently mediocre in fantasy
Yep.
because he was very turnover dependent. Didn't get a lot of tackles. But maybe here in Pittsburgh in a different style offense or defense, sorry, he'll be more effective.
I've gotten over my Miles Jack hate. I think I had him one year,
You did.
and there were so many missed tackles. I was just furious. I'm like, I'm never gonna like him again. But I think he's got some potential this year to hog up tackles there in the middle. So
Okay. I'm actually looking at my own team right now, and I'm thinking, what am I gonna do here? So I got
so
Quandre Diggs in the mock. Let me go look at my roster
yes.
for my own
And so
team.
Tyler got the 304 there and had James Cook from the rookie draft. So then now you're at the 305, having drafted, like you said, Quandre Diggs, Damian Pierce, and you kept Jordan Brooks all in the
Goodness,
second round.
it's I've got two good safeties at this point. I've got a starting linebacker. I think for me personally, I've got to go defensive line at this point. Uh, and I'm just thinking, you know, I actually wouldn't mind. Has Josh Allen? Have we picked him anywhere yet?
Nope, he's still there. He's still there.
God, oh man,
I think that would be a great pick
I
in
do
the
too.
third
But then
round.
Hassan Riddick too, man. But I guess Allen's a little bit younger. I feel like he is at least in my
He's
head.
maybe a little bit. Allen's 3 years, Hassan Reddick's 4 or 5 years, maybe a little bit younger. Um, I like Allen this year a lot. Him and Trayvon Walker next to each other.
Yeah,
I'm a big Josh
and
Allen fan.
don't get me wrong, guys. Like I've been preaching all off season. This is the year to get a defensive tackle in our league, especially because of the fact that they now score more points per tackle than in any other position. So there is value there. Um, but I've liked Josh Allen personally his whole career, and I got a soft spot for the Jags. Give me Josh Allen. I'll take that.
So the other Josh Allen off the board
Yep,
in round 3.
that's right.
Look at all the receivers that are still there, dude. There's so much
God,
receiver
I
depth.
almost went receiver just for fun. I was like, maybe
Yeah,
I'll just get a receiver here and get some depth. I don't know.
there's so much receiver depth. I mean, you're going to be getting great receivers in the 5th round,
Yeah,
into the 5th round of this draft.
I'm gonna play some background music for us, by the way.
Elevator music.
Yeah, backyard football, classic. All right, so we got the Sandstorm Troopers. I need to find him a good sound drop. Big Us, yeah, it's the logo is a stormtrooper. It's got to be something Star Wars related, or maybe just a Sandstorm song. One of the two.
So Big Oss is putting together a team, and if you've tried to reach out to him like I have numerous times, and Tyler and a few others, he is not coming off these picks.
No.
He clearly has ideas for what he wants to do. I just don't know what that is. He has his quarterback from the mock draft, Tom Brady, CeeDee Lamb. He's got 3 running backs. He's got Devin White. I feel like he has to go DB. I don't know if he has a DB on his roster yet. I'm going to check real quick. He has 1 DB. kind of one of everything. Now that he's got CeeDee Lamb, so this one really could go anywhere, Pat.
Yep.
Big Oss. I think he goes. I think he's gonna go. Oh, I know where he goes, Pat. I know it. I figured it out.
Where's
Bobby Okereke.
Oh, dude, that's a guy I was like, I wouldn't mind having another linebacker here, and I was like, but I feel like I need an actual starter defensive line, so that's kind of what
because
I'm doing.
A little birdie told me that he inquired about Okereke in the offseason, but he couldn't keep him because he had Devin White already.
Ooh.
And Darius Leonard could be out for multiple weeks. And if that happens, Okereke's going to be the guy. So build that line after depth. Okereke in the 3rd round.
Okereke is LB 18 in Fantasy Pros.
Oof.
I wouldn't be surprised if he actually performs higher than that, or at least average-wise higher than that. Just because the fact Darius Leonard is out. I mean, do we have a timeline yet for when he might be back?
I'm not hearing. I haven't heard much at all. I don't know. Right now it's just too tough to tell. But I would expect him to miss a few games. That's my expectation right now.
Okay.
I mean, why rush him back? He just had back surgery a month ago.
Yeah.
So, or 2 months ago.
All right. Well, I'm up here. I've got the Steel Curtain. Cody. So what did we do with Cody earlier in the draft? Well,
his first was Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. And then I don't think he had another pick.
Yeah, he didn't have a pick. I was thinking he did, and that's why I had said that. I was like, oh, never mind, he didn't. But he has a couple picks here in the 30s. He's got 2 of them. So let me just go look at his roster real quick with everyone. Take you down this rabbit hole.
Looks like linebacker or DB is where he might want to go, depending based on his roster.
2 defensive linemen, TJ Watt, Von Miller, won't go there. Michael Thomas, he's questionable. He's got I think he's got to go, like you said, linebacker or DB. And now I know Cody. Cody feels very confident that he can stream DBs week in and week out. With Miles Jack gone, Okereke gone. What do you think, Denzel Perryman?
I mean, if you go linebacker, I guess you might have to lean in that area. And Denzel Perryman. I mean, Perryman was like top 5 linebacker last year, right? So you do have to look at Perryman there. What about if he just goes, because Michael Thomas has a hamstring issue. What if he goes receiver here? Because he has multiple picks in this round. No, never mind. He only got this one.
No, he's got 2. I thought.
Well, TJ Watt is the other one. That's already.
Wow. So Denzel Perryman, by the way, is still first on the depth chart at middle linebacker for Las Vegas. I just looked it up. So I think Perryman, honestly, I mean, he's in the same situation as he was last year. Why shouldn't he be a top 24 linebacker?
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's what I'm thinking. Because you can stream DBs, but you can even more easily stream wide receiver, in my opinion. All right, you're up. The Barnyard.
The Barnyard.
I'm gonna switch music up real quick. DJ Pat, change up the song. Here we go.
So we had Mike Evans, David Montgomery, Bobby Wagner, all going in the two. That might be a little loud, man. I can't even. All I hear is like boom, 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 boom.
Okay, all right. Oh wait, that's even louder. Is that better?
Wrong way.
Better?
Turn it down a little more.
I don't know if it'll let me. Hang on. Okay, that's off.
Oh, now it's off. Okay. All right, that's not too bad.
I wonder if anyone else can hear it. It's all right. We
well,
don't.
now it's gone.
All right, hang on.
I think he probably goes DB here. He has Derwin James, but I don't know if he has much else. I gotta go look real quick. Wow, man.
Bobby Wagner at the 101, man. That was such a good pick. I mean, it's hard to mess that pick up, but still, He's gonna love
I'm,
that.
I'm I'm hearing some rumors that Bobby Wagner is confirmed to go 101 in the draft.
Wow. Thank you,
Yep.
Adam Scheffner, for your update.
That's the great thing about being the guy who like tries to trade with everybody is you hear from everybody about what someone else told them. I mean, it's not obviously he could be messing with them, but I've heard confirmation Bobby Wagner is going 101.
Look at this mock though. This went so well. He's got Bobby Wagner, David Montgomery, which but good enough, I guess. Mike Evans at receiver. Gosh, man, that was a great first round.
How about the Honey Badger? Let's give him because he has Derwin James. Let's give him Tyrann Mathieu right next to him
Tyrann Mathieu.
because he needs another DB and he's got pretty much everything else already with all the picks he had. So
according to Fantasy Pros, DB 25, so it's solid.
yeah, out of 24 teams, you get.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's good. And then, you want to hear some more spicy news?
All right.
If Bobby Wagner goes 101, Darius Leonard could go as high as 102.
Wow, dude, that is wild. You may not.
Tyler is kicking the tires on a couple different guys, and he has not made a mind yet.
I've got to Google it, like see if there's any news on Shaquille Leonard right now. Day 14, will Shaq Leonard miss regular season games? Wow, they're asking that now?
That's not good.
Colts have no plans to play Shaquille Leonard on PUP list. That's good.
Oh, that's good news.
That's actually like he might go 101 if that's that actually sounds very nice.
If he's not going to PUP, yes.
Frank Wright said, even if Shaquille Leonard is not ready to play, we have to get him off PUP to practice. That was a day ago. 15 hours ago, Colts said, this is from Colts Wire, Colts have no plans to play Shaquille Leonard on PUP list.
Interesting. So maybe they but I am still convinced he's going to miss some time, though. Just by the language that they're using.
Yeah, I agree. I think it might be a 3-week scenario. Honestly, 2 to 3 weeks.
It definitely doesn't sound as bad as it sounded when the news first broke.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, he could creep up to 101 by Saturday.
So. That'd be. I mean, oh man, that's crazy. Yeah.
It'll get fun. It's gonna get fun.
Jiu-Jitsu Jesus.
Yes. So we got Matt, Sky Daddy.
Yep.
As we call him.
Sky Daddy. I don't know where that name is from. I really want to know the reference to that.
I don't either.
We had him getting Cordell Patterson or Bryson, which I like that pick.
Travis
Kelce. I love that pick. And that was it. So where are we though in terms of his roster? Let me scroll up. I know he's towards the top up here.
Jonathan Abram and Aaron Donald. So what about linebacker? Could he use a linebacker?
What I'm thinking. Yeah, I think he's got to go linebacker here at this point. Perriman, Miles Jack, Okereke all gone. Let me go look at Fantasy Pros rankings.
For me, there's one guy who stands out who has done it year over year over year, who could just hog tackles again.
Jamin Davis.
And that's Jordan Hicks. David Davis.
No, I was going to actually say Tremaine Edmonds or Jordan Hicks.
I'd be looking at.
Is Dion Jones available, by the way?
No, he got picked by Bryce, second round.
Oh, no, sorry. I meant in the real world, in our fantasy league. Like he hasn't been kept. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, we mocked him in the second round. He's available.
I think Jordan Hicks is a good pick, honestly. Tremaine Edmonds, although much younger, it's just he has been flat. He has
no ceiling, dude. He gets like 20 points a week. Every week it feels like. There's just no ceiling from him.
He's consistently below average.
Yeah, like he's consistently an LB3. Like you're just not super interested in starting him.
Right.
At least I'm not. I think the first year I was super on board with Tremaine Edmonds, and ever since then, I've just been super underwhelmed with him. He's always rostered because there's 24 teams, but he's never like a game changer,
Yeah. I forgot to
ever.
play the draft chime. I haven't done it in a couple picks. All right.
You'd be fired if you were the NFL commissioner, by the way.
Yeah, I would have been murdered by now. All right, we got Shuttlecocks on the clock again. This guy's everywhere. You can't shake him.
He has so many picks. This is just ridiculous. He's gonna run out of things to do with all these picks. I think with his structure, he just goes best player at this point. Like, why not?
Yeah.
You got so many picks, and you have so much depth already. Just go best player available. That's kind of what I'd be doing.
He has a quarterback, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got Dak Prescott.
Okay. Yeah. Ooh, does he get a Cowboy?
So, all right. So, a couple options: backup running back, someone like Melvin Gordon, but Mark Andrews is still sitting there. That would be very interesting. I think he already has a defensive lineman, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's set everywhere at this point.
He does. I mean, he could use how many DBs did we give him already? At least one. Dion Jones, Cameron Hayward. Yeah, I mean, he's mostly just picking backups, too. What about Mark Andrews? Do you think that's too early here? He's already got Justin Jefferson. What about T. Higgins? I'm super high on T. Higgins this year. Because for some reference,
I would rather have Thielen, Pittman, Higgins, or a lot of these receivers still available. I would probably take it for Andrews, in my opinion. I still like Andrews a lot. Don't get me wrong, but I just think there's some better guys.
He doesn't go Thielen because he already has Justin Jefferson, so Thielen's off the board for him.
What about Deontay Johnson? Have we sent him anywhere?
No, he's available.
Just doesn't have much of a quarterback. That's the issue.
Michael Pittman and T. Higgins would be ahead of Deontay Johnson for me.
I was about to say, I thought we had already T. Higgins off the board. If he's available, let's give him T. Higgins here. He's from Ohio. I don't know if he's a Browns or Bengals fan, or maybe neither. I don't know. But that makes fantasy fun, man, when you get to roster a player from your favorite team, in my opinion.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
I'm not afraid of being called a homer. I'm not afraid.
It does make it more fun. It also makes it a little more nerve. I've had Christian McCaffrey for 2 years in that other league, and he's been terrible for 2 years. So it's like a double whammy when it goes bad, though. Because now it's hurting your fantasy team and your favorite players.
Yeah.
But
I forgot. I'd probably update.
I think having T. Higgins and Justin Jefferson, that's easily the best wide receiver core in the league. I don't know how you have two better receivers than that.
Yeah, I agree.
In my opinion.
I'm just updating our best available off your rankings. By the way, for those that don't know, the rankings that you see on the far left of the mock draft tab, these are Jameson's rankings. So if you want to outmaneuver him throughout the draft, use his own rankings against.
Well, joke's on you. They're not one over another. They're kind of like tiered roughly in a rough order.
Uh-huh.
They're not exactly one over one over one over one. They're just kind of like in vicinities of each other. So take your best guess. Yeah. But yes, I did put those together off the dome.
All right.
All right. So now we got Beg for G-Reg. So BP's here. He kept Josh Allen in the first round. He had Joey Bosa in the second round. And then that brings us over to his team needs to see what he needs. He's got pretty much one of everything at this point. So I think he can go best player or start building some depth. I'm trying to think where he might want to go. Oh, man. What are your thoughts, Pat?
I'm going to go look at his roster again. I'm a visual person. I've got to see it for me to really grasp what I'm looking at here. So It's got a good quarterback, a running back, receiver. I feel like he could. It wouldn't be a
What
bad
about?
idea to get some more receiver depth or maybe another
Yeah,
flex player.
I agree. He definitely needs. I mean, he's relying on Jerry Judy, which, in my opinion, is going to be the number 2 in Denver. So I
Right.
think he really could pair him with an Adam Thielen or Michael Pittman and really solidify his receiver core.
Okay.
He also needs a linebacker too because he's got Jayon Brown.
Good point.
So I don't know if I would rely on Jayon Brown to be my dude.
A lot of these guys here at linebacker, though, I feel like they're all kind of at the same level at this point.
They are like, and that's the reason I'm hesitant to like pull the trigger on a linebacker here is because really from like Rashawn Evans all the way down to like Kazir White, they're all the same to me. I
Yeah.
wouldn't care if I had Al Shair or Greenlaw or Baker or Edmonds. They are all exactly the same to me.
Yeah. I agree. I'm actually looking forward to Jamin Davis, and he's a guy that, like, if he fell to me super late in the draft, I would scarf him up and laugh to the bank. I would feel great
Take
about
them.
it.
I'm
I
gonna let that bomb drop. I spent a lot of time watching him and reading about him, hoping something would happen, and it was all terrible news. They're like, he can't read the defense, he doesn't know where he's supposed to be. It was just terrible stuff. So I was like, yeah, I'm getting out of this while I can.
yeah, no, I wouldn't want to have to be like forced to have him on my roster all year, but being able to cut him at any point, low risk. I really hope I can get him. But
So
yes,
be big for G Reg.
I think no
What if we just
linebacker
go?
here, in my
What if we go
opinion.
ceiling? Get him a receiver to pair with Jerry Judy. Get him. I had him further down my list because of quarterback play. But what about a guy like DK Metcalf here? Like super athletic, not as safe as a guy like a Pittman, but I mean, I'm probably pulling the trigger too early. That's probably too early because of the quarterback play. But he's easily
Yeah,
one of the most athletic players in the league.
I would almost go because I like the quarterback situation a little bit better. I would go Deontay Johnson over him, in my opinion.
Okay, I
If
think
I had to pick between
that
those two,
tier, that Adam Thielen, Michael Pittman, Deontay Johnson tier
or do we get Mark
is
Andrews, guy who can get touchdowns?
yeah. You know what? Let's get Mark Andrews. Let's put him over Judy. I don't think Judy's going to be super strong this year. That's just my opinion. Obviously, a lot of people can disagree with that, but I feel like to me, Jerry Judy
There we go.
is on the same playing field as like Elijah Moore this year. It's like,
Yeah,
better quarterback for sure, but I don't know. I expect Cortland Sutton to be the 1A.
man, crazy. So Mark Andrews going here mid third round.
It's good value.
That
Travis
is.
Kelsey went in the early second, so this
Yeah.
is good value.
All right, baby got Dak.
Maybe got Dak. This is Colby. He's got a pretty strong roster at this point. Um, because we've mocked him like Shaquille Leonard. He has a ton of offensive players already. Um, let me see if does he have a DB? He did. He got Antoine Winfield Jr. in the first round. Oh man, he needs to. He really, really, really needs to solidify that defense a little bit if he can. Oh, you
Why
know
not a
what?
defensive lineman?
Yeah, I was about to say let's go D line here. Let's do Hassan Reddick here
Okay.
in the third round. He's a sack artist playing in Philadelphia this year. He was amazing last year.
I like Hassan Reddick. He is DL 22 on Fantasy Pros rankings.
Nice. That would lead Cody at the 314. Kept TJ Watt, so now we're back-to-back picks for Springfield Adams for Ian.
All right.
Back-to-back. And then
Uh,
back-to-back picks for Coleman.
so Springfield Adams, we got a Miles Jack. I really like that pick. Early third. I thought that was good. Demario Davis. So he doubled down there at linebacker. Gives him some, a flex player potentially. He's got Chase Edmonds, which you don't feel great about as your starting running back, but there's no point of getting a running back here with this pick because you can just wait. He's got Mike Williams, great quarterback. Gosh, man, he could go. I'm
What if he
thinking we got to
goes?
go defensive line, right, or DB.
Well, he needs a DB too. He doesn't have any DBs, so he's got to go with DB here. He could go D line and DB. He could go double DB. He could get Melvin Gordon. I wouldn't project it, but it's possible. But definitely a DB for sure.
Okay. Let's see.
I feel the same way about these DBs as I do about the linebackers. From like Grant Delpit down to like, you know, Adderley, I feel like they're all kind of in the same tier to me.
Is Jayon Curse rostered yet?
He is not. Nope.
Let's go Jayon Curse.
Okay. He had
DB.
a good year last year.
Yeah, DB 16 on Fantasy Pros. So that could be.
He would be higher on my list, but he was dealing with a leg injury in camp. I don't know if it's gotten any better. I haven't kept up with it.
All right. Sorry, I was. The spreadsheet wouldn't put that in the correct font. Anyways, so we got a DB here. I think we go DL now, Jameson.
Okay. Well, that really sucks. I was gonna go Hunter Renfro. I'm just kidding. Let's swing for the fences. This is a guy. I feel like he either busts or he puts up 60 points. Chandler Jones. He's not the highest guy on my list, but I'm not really thinking about the way I would draft. I'm thinking about the way Ian might draft. Chandler Jones is a big name. Let's plug Chandler Jones into here and see what happens. Just to have fun.
All right, let's do it. Let's mix things up a little bit.
Mix it up.
I don't know why he keeps wanting to use red font and everything right now. All right, so we got Mr. 295 on the clock. It's been a minute to say the least. I think the last time he picked was like the 103, maybe.
It was the 103 because he traded out and traded these picks with you, and he had a rough week, man. So Josh Jacobs news came out recently that he's probably going to be in a committee. It looks like with multiple running backs, so that's his starting running back. And then Chase Young, obviously being on the PUP and missing the first 4 weeks of the season, so he's going to have to get some guys who are going to be able to play a little bit. He needs a DB now that he traded away Fitzpatrick to Patrick.
Thank you.
So where does he go for DB? Again, all these guys are kind of in the same tier to me, but he needs one of them.
Honestly, I know you're not as high on him. Let me see if I can find Antoine Winfield.
Oh no, I love Antoine Winfield. We already picked him.
Oh, did we? Dang it!
The first round.
Oh, sorry, I'm thinking Jordan Whitehead.
Jordan
I
Whitehead.
got them confused. Yeah. He's a top 24 guy on Fantasy Pros.
Yeah, he's the free safety in New York now. He's a starting safety. He'll be on the field a lot.
Justin Simmons we've projected him to go already, right?
Yep, first round.
Cameron Curl?
He's there.
I like Cameron Curl because let's say you're right about Jamin Davis sucking again. I think that puts a lot of tackles in Cameron Curl's path.
Okay.
I like that pick. I like it. All right. And he's up again.
All right. He doesn't need linebacker because he's got Roquan Smith, who's back now. So at least he got that news this week, which is good. And Blake Martinez. He doesn't need receiver here. He has Stephon Diggs. He doesn't need a quarterback. He's got Kayvon Thibodeau backing up Chase Young, but it looks like Thibodeau might miss some time too.
Oh yeah, definitely. That knee injury?
Yeah, he had a knee injury in the preseason game. So I'm thinking one of two things. He either doubles up at DB for his other flex position, or he gets a running back because he can't trust Josh Jacobs. I know just for some rumors that he has some feelings about Josh Jacobs, which are understandable given the situation. So does he go Melvin Gordon, who's in a kind of a 50-50 timeshare? Or does he just say, screw it, I'm going to go ahead and get my other starting DB?
I think you go running back here. You go for someone with a higher ceiling who has the potential to take over a starting role, or who's on an offense where a guy is kind of like quote unquote injury prone at running back. I think that's if you're going to get a running back, that's the guy you should target. If you're really concerned about, Josh Jacobs not being a consistent guy. I'm interested though with that news, how that impacts the 103, because who knows, maybe he decides, you know what, I got to go David Montgomery here. I can't risk this guy being my only running back. As you can see, there's no running backs when he picks again.
Yeah, well, there's barely any running backs at all, it looks like.
Yeah, yeah. Cordell Patterson and David Montgomery are definitely the top two.
This is a tough pick, and because I don't want to make it with a running back, I'm going to give him his other DB. He needs another DB.
Okay.
Let's give him McKinney right above Javon Curse. Xavier McKinney had a solid season last year. Let's give him McKinney.
Okay. Oh, I think I passed him.
He just goes, screw it. I'm solidifying my defensive backs here, and he'll worry about the backup running back later.
DB 15 on Fantasy Pros rankings.
He had a good year last year. I like Xavier McKinney. He's a solid guy.
All right, Sandstorm Troopers back on the clock. All right, so
he's a fourth running back. I'm just kidding.
Oh my god, he got Bobby Okereke, which we both think very highly of him. And he also has Devin White at linebacker, so he definitely doesn't get LB again. He got CeeDee Lamb in the first round and Tom Brady. So offensively, like, he's 100% set. I don't think you can walk away feeling like you need any more depth at those positions. Defensive line, I think, is a position you could go just as a depth piece there. Or as a guy that you could, switch in, switch out based on matchup. Or we could also go defensive back here as well.
What about receiver?
You think, really? Because we got him CeeDee Lamb earlier. I feel like he should be a week in, week out guy.
Yeah, he's got Jeremy Chin though, in the back in the DB. I mean, I guess he gets his other one here.
Get another flex player that you could rotate in and out.
I mean, if I was gonna go DB, who would you go if you're looking at DB right here?
I'm gonna go look at Fantasy Pros rankings.
Justin Reed, maybe, in Kansas City.
It's funny, he's not gonna do it. But you know who's rated as the number 10 DB in fantasy on Fantasy Pros? Is Kenny Moore.
Kenny Moore. I thought Kenny Moore was already on a roster.
Is he?
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
Let me look.
See.
No, he's not.
I really thought Kenny Moore.
He's not rostered.
Wow. Why do I not have him higher here? Let's see.
He is a corner for the most part, but he kind of moves around.
Yeah, we're gonna have to change that. Sorry, Kenny. I just missed you, bro.
Yeah. What do you think? Do we do Kenny? I mean,
if he's only got one DB, right? So if he's only got one, then
I mean, there are other guys too. We got Taylor Rapp, I believe, still. Jordan Whitehead. I think we have Jordan Fuller. Kyle Duggar.
I would go Justin Reed if I were in this spot, but this is your pick, man.
Gosh, man, there's a couple DBs here you could go with. I'm gonna say I'm gonna. God, I don't know. I'm torn now. I'm thinking of guys that play in the box. You know what? No. Screw it. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna trade back. No, I'm just kidding. Let's just give him. Let's give him Jordan Whitehead. Screw it.
Okay.
I think I'm focused more on the position here, more so than the player.
Yeah.
Of what he does.
That's fair.
So I'm thinking it's gonna be DL or DB by that point. Baby got Dak.
All right, so we have drafted Shaq Leonard and Antoine Winfield so far, and Hassan Reddick. So it's been all defense
Ooh.
for Colby up to this point.
Are you saying
But he needs it.
that he might go offense?
Oh, he's got. Well, I would say Cooper. I would say receiver, but he's got Cooper Kupp.
I mean, he needs to go on a bye week, you know? He's got 3 running backs, so we know he's not doing that.
Not getting running back, no.
I mean, maybe he does go defense again because he had no defensive players. He's got to build defensive depth.
Let's get Justin Reed here. I think Justin Reed's a solid. He's talented. He's on a defense that's, where they've had some fantasy relevance at that position. So, if you notice in the 3rd round, this is an interesting takeaway. It's almost all defense.
Mm-hmm.
Literally only 2 picks, not defense in this round. It's interesting. There are so many receivers. Right? Justin Reed. So many receivers falling into the 4th round and the 5th round.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
Because we increased their scoring now, so they actually do score more than they used to.
Yep. I think we're going to see a pretty heavy run in the 4th round, though, on receivers.
Yeah, at that point. This can be kind of best available.
Yeah.
All right. Guardians of the Gridiron.
Oh, Peyton. We haven't got to call his name since the 1st round at the 121. Miles Garrett. Here we are, the 321. This is originally my pick, so I feel a little jealous here.
Seeing the player value here, do you wish you had that pick now?
Not really. I got Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray and a Luakon for it, so yeah, I don't feel bad at all.
Yeah.
There's 2 are better than anyone left by a mile, so no worries there. Let's see. This is tough. Peyton's kind of tough to predict sometimes. He can kind of do a bunch of different things.
I think it goes DB here, personally.
He doesn't have a quarterback yet.
Oh, he doesn't have a quarterback? I think you're right. Holy crap. Oh, that's easy. So. It's Kirk Cousins.
Because I think this is the point of the draft. You're in the late 3rd. We've kind of forgot about the quarterbacks, but there's going to become a point where if you don't pull the trigger, you're going to end up with, Mitch Trubisky or Carson Wentz.
Hey, there's Baker Mayfield.
I mean, I would.
Panther
fan. Yeah, but I mean, Kirk Cousins is at least like QB 12. I mean, everyone else behind him has no chance of being a QB1. None of them. Although I do like Mariota's floor. He looked really good in preseason, and I like that he runs. But
Desmond Ridder had a good day recently,
yeah.
too.
I would honestly, if I was quarterback needy, I wouldn't mind rolling with Mariota or Desmond Ridder.
Okay.
But do you think it goes Kirk Cousins here?
I think that's possible because you do run the risk. There's a big drop-off in talent, in my opinion, after that.
There's a huge drop-off.
Kirk Cousins, you can make an argument that he could potentially be a top 12 guy, the back end of that top 12. The other guys, you're not arguing that. You don't have a leg to stand on that they're top 12 talent.
I would put Kirk Cousins here.
Okay.
For a quarterback needy team, he's got to go Kirk Cousins.
You like that?
You like that?
The Barnyard.
Another guy that can pretty much just do anything. I feel like we've been through so many Barnyard picks. It's crazy. The only thing he can't do is receiver because he'd have 3 of them. So I doubt he goes receiver. But he can pretty much do anything else at this point.
You think he's
Mike Evans, Bobby
flexible maybe?
Wagner.
Does he need a backup running back?
No, he's got 2 running backs: David Montgomery, Brees Hall, Tyrann Mathieu. I mean,
Derwin
he could do
James.
anything. Derwin James. I mean, his roster's freaking set. His roster's loaded. He does need a backup defensive lineman, I think. So I don't think he has.
He has Trey Hendrickson.
I would say let's give him like Shaq Barrett or someone like that to pair with Hendrickson at this point. I mean, he's got so many damn picks, dude. This is basically worthless.
Yeah.
I would have been
I
trading
wonder
everything
if,
after this pick.
at this point in the draft, do you try to just get picks for next year maybe? Because you kind of have
Yeah.
a roster set.
If I were him, I would take this pick and everything behind it, and I would just be reaching out to guys and saying, "Hey, I'll give you these fourths for a third next year or whatever," and just start building capital for next year. Because at this point, it's pretty much useless. They're just not going to make your roster. And his rosters, he has so many picks. It's just set.
Who did you want to give him at defensive line again? Or did you say DB?
Let's give him Shaq Barrett. I think Shaq Barrett's fun.
Okay. Shaq.
And I think he's a balance to, the Trey Hendrickson.
Oh, he's DL26, so on here.
Yeah, that's not bad for the third round.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And Springfield Adams, another guy who's had a lot of picks here recently, making up for the fact they only used one waiver wire pick, I guess. Got a defensive line. We got a safety. We got 2 linebackers. And we got a running back at this point.
A receiver and a DB.
Yes. I feel like...
And a quarterback.
Wait, he does have a receiver?
Yep, he's got Mike Williams in the second round.
That's right. I forgot about that pick. So he has every starter besides...
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Well, shoot. I say let's go
fill
get
that
him.
roster out.
Yeah, it's filling that roster out, surprisingly. Let's go get him a safety. Let's get another flex player or a linebacker, maybe.
Well, he's already got 2 linebackers, I think.
Oh, you're
Miles
right.
Jack
So
and
let's
Darren
get him
Davis.
a DB. So I like Nasir Adderley a lot, honestly. Like, he's still...
I knew you were going to say that.
I like Adrian Amos a lot here. Let me go look at Fantasy Pros. Let's go. Whitehead, he's gone, right? And Matthew.
Yep.
Okay. Let's get him Kyle Duggar. He's DB 21 on Fantasy Pros rankings.
Okay. Oh, goodness.
All right. Last pick. The Spurs, the champion from 2021. Has he picked it all thus far?
He got Harrison Smith in the first round.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Harrison Smith.
For me, this should be a receiver. I don't think he still needs a quarterback, by the way, but I don't think he goes unless you think he needs Matt Ryan here. He doesn't have a receiver at all, from what I can see, unless I'm missing it. He has 2 DBs.
No, he does have 1 receiver. He got off waivers in the offseason.
Oh, Smith. That's right.
But not that you feel great about Devonta Smith.
No, he's got a linebacker, 2 DBs, a receiver. He has no quarterback, no defensive line at all, and really no receiver. I don't like Devonta Smith this year, but so where do we go here?
Gosh, man. I mean, Adam Thielen has a solid quarterback. Michael Pittman is all right. Marquise Brown, interesting. Deontay Johnson is kind of in a situation, and same with DK Metcalf, like great talent, garbage quarterback. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You also have OBJ, who could be rostered, I guess, at any point, and skyrockets. You got Chris Godwin, who he's had before. Does he roll the dice with Godwin again?
I was gonna say I've been reading a little bit on Godwin because at one point I think I had him so low because it looked like he was gonna miss time, but they said that he was fully participating, and he's not on the pup or anything like that. Um, so I mean, I'm wondering if he makes it back for week one. You know what I mean?
That would be great for whoever rosters him. So to
And they
put it
get
in
him at the back of the
perspective,
third.
I'm looking at Fantasy Pros rankings based on PPR format. Michael Pittman, wide receiver 11, believe it or not. Deontay Johnson, wide receiver 15. Jalen Waddle, 16. Terry McLaurin, 17. Brandon Cooks, 18. You got Mike Williams. Well, he's gone now. DK Metcalf. Chris Godwin, the guy is 28.
Oof. Oh man. When does Cam pick again? I just want to make sure real quick. This is I know it's the last one, but I kind of want to see. I want to make sure I get this one right. I want to see when he picks next.
I
So Cam will pick
honestly.
again at the 401. So he's actually got back-to-back picks here. I
Okay.
didn't know that.
So not as much pressure, I guess.
Not as much pressure now. So I think he could go D-line and receiver. So let's do one. Let's do receiver. That's more fun.
Okay.
Let's do receiver here.
What do you think of Michael Pittman?
Let's
Deontay
do
Johnson?
Pittman. Pittman's really safe. I could easily see Godwin, especially if we get news that he's going to be back by week one. But Pittman is pretty safe. He's a projected top 15 receiver. So to get that guy in the late third,
Matt
that's
Ryan,
a good deal.
even when garbage last year, still supported receivers pretty well, honestly.
Yeah.
And the
Well,
Colts
yeah. Well,
pretty solid offensive
I
line.
think he would. Yeah. I mean, even when he hasn't been great, like Calvin Ridley looked great last year when he was playing, and the year before. I wonder if Cam doesn't go quarterback at one of these spots, that means he's waiting until the late fifth, which is interesting.
He could go quarterback, but at this point, they're all kind of like, they're about the same, you know. Like,
Yeah.
I know you. If you want me to tell you, I know your rankings are there, but Fantasy Pros rankings. So they've got the best available at this point is Trevor Lawrence, say it's QB 18, Matt Ryan 20, Ryan Tannehill 21, Daniel Jones 22, Mac Jones 23, Carson Wentz 24, Jared Goff 26, Baker Mayfield 27, Davis Mills 28, Marcus Mariota 30, Mitch Trubisky 31, Drew Lock 32.
No, F all of that. If you need a quarterback in the late rounds, Marcus Mariota. Keep that name in mind. I know it sounds crazy, but his rushing floor is going to keep him relevant. And he's looked really good in preseason. And if you're going to go down, at least go down having fun with a running quarterback. Like why play with Carson Wentz? You know.
Honestly, he could lose a job pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, even if he doesn't, I mean, he sucks.
Or go get a Panther and just have fun with it. Go get Baker, you know?
Yeah.
If you're a Panther fan. You don't have to do that this early. I mean, Jesus, you can wait a while.
But if I didn't have a quarterback, I would punt till like the 5th or 6th round.
Yeah.
And I'd be looking at guys like Mariota or Daniel Jones, guys that can run. They aren't necessarily great quarterbacks, but they're going to keep it fantasy relevant, you know?
I wonder how Cameron feels about that after seeing, the next quarterback basically falling all the way to the 3rd round, Kirk Cousins, after Brady went. I wonder how Cameron feels about that situation, you know?
Well, I feel like
does he reach for like Kirk, for example, if he wants that feel a little bit safer at QB?
At the 118, definitely not. I would absolutely 100% not do that.
I would try to trade back if I were him. If you really want Kirk,
if I was gonna get a quarterback, yes. Harrison Smith is worth way more than Kirk Cousins at the 118.
Well, I don't know. I feel like Harrison you could replace with some of the other DBs we got after him. I was gonna say you could honestly. There's better receivers that he could have gotten, like Mike Williams, DJ Moore, Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews.
Oh, if he were to go back from the 118, you mean?
Yeah, or with 118, you know, go get Travis Kelce.
Yeah, you could. I wouldn't have a problem with someone getting Travis Kelce there. That would be fine.
Well, cool.
Cool. So just to kind of break it down real quickly, and we can wrap up. I mean, what I'm seeing from round three, really the middle of round two down, is just emphasis on defense.
Yes.
Heavy, 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 heavy defense.
There were
So that's
12
interesting.
DBs drafted between the second and third round. So mathematically speaking, got to be thinking, well, shit, that's like half the starting DBs in theory. Roughly half are rostered by the end of the third round. So I do think that's kind of encouraging, though. You don't need to go DB in the first or early in the first. So, like, for example, we gave Step Bros Fantasy Company Jamal Adams. Well, shoot, he really could have probably gone like CJ Mosley there and punted further back and just get another DB later on, you know?
Yeah.
Well, cool. Anything? Any other takeaways you see there?
It was interesting to see Kirk Cousins go in the third round. I would be interesting now knowing that where does Matt Ryan go? Where does Trevor Lawrence go? Are there a lot of Clemson fans and Trevor Lawrence goes actually sooner than we project him to go? Um, that's what I'm going to be paying attention to because obviously for those of us who have quarterbacks, we want to see as many of them get drafted as early as possible
Yeah.
to push those players down to us,
Yeah.
right? So I'm going to be paying attention to that. I'm going to be paying attention to receivers because I could use another one to pair with Juju. And the way it's looking, if it goes this way, there are going to be a lot of receiver depth into the 4th and 5th round, which
Mm-hmm.
I love. So very excited about that. If you need a linebacker and you don't get one of those top 6 guys, just wait, it looks like, because they're all kind of the same to
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
at that point, right? So, like, I'm not, this makes it very easy for me to say I'm not going to get a linebacker until the 5th round, probably, my backup linebacker, right?
Right.
Because I don't care if it's Quincy Williams or Damian Wilson or Patrick Queen because they're all kind of the same in my eyes. So that makes it very easy. But no, I'm just excited, man. I'm stoked. Um, what? Give me one bold prediction before we get off the show.
I know my last
What's
bold
one crazy
prediction
thing?
was Shaquille Leonard falling out of the first round. And I feel like that it doesn't sound like that's going to happen. It sounds like he's going top 2. It's pretty certainly. So, with that said, I think we it sounds kind of crazy, but if we're talking about drop off in talent per position, I think we might actually see 2 running backs go in the first round.
And it's crazy. Like I actually was thinking about that too. Not necessarily 2 running backs in the first round, but I think there's going to be more running backs taken than we originally thought
We
after
only
seeing this
have
mock.
4 running backs going in the first 3 rounds. I think we are downplaying that significantly.
I think you're right. I think we're going to see Melvin Gordon go. I think we're going to see Ramondre Stevenson with some recent news. He could go. Devin Singletary possibly could go. Kenneth Gainwell could go if Miles Sanders keeps getting the news that we're getting about Miles Sanders. So, or someone could take a shot on a guy like Aljair or Davis Price, out of San Francisco or something. So I think you're right about that. I think we'll see a lot more go.
All right. Well,
Cool.
what's yours? Are
Man,
you
I don't
sticking to your
know.
guns?
No, I think I said I was more defensive lineman going the first round than any other position. I think I'm wrong about that. Um,
I mean, we didn't even mock
uh,
that. Funny enough, in our mock, we only had 3 defensive linemen, but we had like 3, 4, 5. We had 6 defensive backs.
yeah. I don't know. What do I want Here's a crazy. Okay, I think more quarterbacks are going to go than we projected in the first 3 rounds.
Oh, that'd be
I think
crazy.
some guys are going to get antsy. They're going to see some talent fall off, and they're going to start pulling the trigger earlier than we thought they might. That's my projection.
Do you think we drafted irresponsibly for any team?
No, I don't think so. And I think that's why our mocks are off. I think sometimes we go by what we would do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's very like structured and like this is exactly what we should do if we were this team. Where reality of fantasy football drafts is guys pick players they like, guys pick players that they know, guys don't have enough understanding of this point system, so they draft players they necessarily shouldn't have drafted. Some guys panic draft because they weren't ready for a pick. Some guys, get on Twitter and get overhyped on a player. The reality is that every single year, there's multiple picks in every round that are shocking. And in our mock draft, that didn't really happen outside of like DeForest Buckner, right? So the reality is that I think this is actually going to be every round's going to have 2 or 3 picks where we're like, whoa, we did not expect that, right? So no, we were not irresponsible enough, in my opinion. It was a little too structured.
We had 18
but it's tough to predict where that's going to happen.
First 3 rounds.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's nuts.
So I think everyone builds their rosters differently, and we're picking teams the way we build our rosters, but that isn't necessarily the way everyone does it, right? So, no, I think we missed on that piece. But that's difficult to project. It's difficult to get out of your mind and draft how somebody else would draft, especially if they're new. So it's tough. It's very tough. But what's fun about these is it kind of gives you some insight into where you might want to spend your picks based on what we might see, right? So,
yeah.
I don't care. I'm just excited. However it happens, I'm going to be excited either way because it's football time.
It's football time, baby. Let's go. Well, guys, this is our last podcast before the draft starts. We'll have one more. I'm going to do one more podcast the week in between week 0, if you want to call it that, for fantasy, where nothing happens between our draft and week 1 of the NFL. And it's going to be kind of like a power ranking episode of which teams I think are the best and worst and so forth. I don't know if I want to break it down to all 24 or do like a playoff prediction type deal. I don't know. I'm going to think about it some. I think that'd be a lot of fun though. But anything? Oh, one other thing I forgot to add. If anyone hasn't looked on Discord and seen my rule change idea, it's not really a rule change idea, but basically I admitted like, hey, the developmental league flopped. We didn't get a lot of interest there, and I basically rethought that entire process. And it's kind of like playing fantasy football with real people. If you're a GM in the LCC. If you're a new guy joining the developmental league, it's like regular fantasy football, except you've got someone whispering in your ear like, hey, man, this is kind of how I would value this position, and, you should be looking out for this, that, and the other. Essentially, you as a GM in the LCC also are kind of like a GM of a minor league team. You get to decide who that GM is of your minor league team. They make all the decisions for the most part, but you're there teaching them the ropes, and based off their success, you get a payout and they get a payout because in order to own a team in the developmental league, there's a small pay-in for you. So it's interesting. Just go read it on Discord. To me, it sounds like a lot of fun. It's really unique. But just kind of a thought that popped up into my head the other day.
Cool.
All right, guys. Well, that's all we got. We will catch you all for our power ranking episode next week. Best of luck to everyone in the draft, except you, Jameson. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I can't wait to see everyone. It's gonna be a blast, and we'll get the season started. See y'all.